What's up, guys? CJ here, and welcome to a very special episode of our Superfriends podcast. Tim, I'm not gonna need to ask you what episode this is. I think I've got this one.
All right.
This is episode 100. Episode 100. We've hit the century mark.
Yeah.
This is. We're not really doing anything special for this one. It's kind of a normal episode. We just wanted to acknowledge, kind of in the shuffle, in the, the back and forth. We, I don't want to say we didn't plan anything, but I'll be honest, we didn't plan anything. But who knows? Keep an eye out for a special. We might wait, 2 more weeks and do something big when Marvelite hits their 100th episode, basically. Yeah. So he also went on to describe some scenes from Justice League that they had done VFX for. He said he hadn't seen any of the fight scenes, but they did work on some additional scenes. A scene where Batman easily takes down Cyborg. One where Batman lands inside Steppenwolf's ship from above. A lot of talking scenes. One scene where Aquaman kind of dives basically into the water and swims basically like a torpedo is how he describes it. There's another scene where Robin Wright gives a big speech to an assembled group of Amazons, which would almost certainly be from that prologue where they help the Atlanteans fight off Steppenwolf. And then one scene where Ben Affleck camps on ice with his horse tied up. So a lot of these...
Well, now I'm just planning on the horse on its back with its legs tied together. I know what it means, but it just sounded like that in my head when I first thought of it.
But this is really interesting. To me, these scenes all... it's... I don't want to say this is kind of like one of the things that makes me believe this guy's report a little bit more. This sounds genuine. It kind of it's nothing that we hadn't heard before. We've seen scenes of Aquaman swimming. Probably the only scene that, wasn't connected or we hadn't heard before was Batman easily taking down Cyborg, which is something that kind of sounds, not out of the realm of possibility in the character, but hadn't been hinted at previously. But everything else, Robin Wright, we've heard about the prequel, and of course she died in Wonder Woman, so she probably wouldn't be coming back to life. Like I said, Aquaman swimming, the Ben Affleck camping, that ties into going back to that first trailer where we see him, tracking down Arthur Curry. All of these things kind of piggyback off of it a little bit, but they're not things that we had seen. They're things that we had kind of hinted at, so it's... I don't know. I almost believe him a little bit more from this than the Green Lantern stuff. But what do you guys think of these scenes? Does this move the needle for you a little bit?
I don't know. I've gotten into the point where I just can't really believe a lot of stuff anymore. If this all turns out to be true, then do not hire this guy because he will just tell everybody.
He just tells everyone. What do you think, Tim?
It falls in line with what I would have expected from the movie anyway. I don't know if it really changes my perspective on it. They all just sound like scenes that would be in a movie.
Yeah, that's true. I was to the point about whether he's accurate or not, or being truthful, or actually did VFX work for Justice League, which I guess is the bottom line. He actually did give a really, really detailed description of VFX work in movies. And kind of behind the scenes that I find it hard to believe anybody that was not, working in VFX would, be able to give that accurate and detailed a description. So to me, I almost believe him a little bit. Whether all of these scenes, of course, make it into the movie, that's another thing entirely. He rounded out his spoilering and leaking with some a detailed description of a scene involving Superman and some character descriptions, which kind of put to rest some rumors about the film that have been going on basically since the film was announced. So he was asked, have you worked on anything regarding Superman? And he replied, a few of them, but before these reshoots, the scenes I worked on where Superman is there, Henry Cavill does not have a beard, and he says that he hasn't seen him in a black suit or with a beard, mostly in the red and blue suit. And maybe the big thing, there was this big scene basically where he flies down in front of Kent Farm and where he punches something big. And the object was basically a few green boxes with motion markers, so we don't know what he punched, but it looked big. It could have been Steppenwolf or a parademon. We're not quite sure. But it looks like there is going to be a little battle at Kent Farm, if this guy is accurate. What do you guys think specifically about no black suit or beard? Really, that was one of the things that I was really hoping for in this movie.
I am totally fine with that.
You're totally fine with no black suit or beard?
I am completely fine.
I would have
with
been
that.
fine one way or the other. I honestly didn't expect them to go fully the Return of Superman route. It would have been cool to see it,
Also,
but like, it's whatever if it's not in there.
well, I mean, with the implication, because the scene in that leak thing, it was described that like he bursts from his grave or something, right? Or that they took him from his grave and then he wakes up and leaves, or something along that line.
Yeah, in that one leak where he was,
Would the implication have been that when he was buried, they undressed him from his Superman suit and put a black version on him of the same material?
I feel like if they did that, they would probably have buried him in like a suit at the Kent farm.
That's what I mean. Like, where would the black suit have come from if that's
It
where...
might be like a recovery suit that he gets put into by Steppenwolf when he's reviving him or whatever he's doing.
I guess that's true. Fair enough. I just thought it would have been funny because a lot of people are like, man, I really wanted the black suit, and I'm imagining him coming out of the grave, and I'm like, this raises more questions than answers. Where does
My
he
suit
get
got
that?
really dirty under there.
That's what I was thinking. He's just rolling around in mud.
He just shakes it off, and he just shakes the black off, and it becomes red and blue again.
Little Donna reference, he just flies around the earth a couple times, then comes down and it's red and blue again.
You know what? Now I really wish that's what would have happened. It sounds great. I would have liked that.
Would have been a little funny to see, at least. So no black suit, no beard. Superman fighting at Kent Farm. That kind of is in line with the plot leak. We knew that there was a scene of him going back to Kent Farm, although I don't think there was anything about him fighting in that spoilery description that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But that actually, you know what? That about does it for this guy's leaks. He didn't really add anything else. He has deleted his account, although I think that's kind of become like standard fare of, oh shit, people are doubting me. I've got to seal the deal by deleting my account and making it look like I got caught. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Any final thoughts on any of these things? Any final thoughts on what a 100 episode means to you before we end the episode?
It means I still have a job.
Hell yeah. What about you, Tim?
It means that people wanted to listen to us ramble onward for whatever reason for a really long time.
And if you've been here with us for the entire 100 episodes, thank you. I don't know if there are any of you out there. I think Waru might be the closest. Classy Ulysses has been here for a while. It means a lot. It does. The fact that you spend so much time listening to us talk about stuff really does mean a lot. And we appreciate it. We definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys listening. And so here's to another 100. And hopefully a crossover in a couple of weeks once Marvelite hits 100. If we can arrange that, we'll start talking about it now and actually plan something. But, all right, as always, if you want your questions answered live during the podcast, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below using hashtag AskSuperfriends so we can find it super easy. Or you can go ahead and throw your comments and questions on SoundCloud, where we have the full episode, as always, every week. Or on Twitter, just use the hashtag AskSuperfriends. We definitely are checking there a lot more often now. We really probably will answer all of the questions, unless there's just a ton of them one week. That's really only happened like once or twice. But definitely do that. We'll answer your questions on the air, and we'll shout you out a little bit too. Thank you guys so much for 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more.
All right, guys.
See you next week.